Welcome back to the Media Unrestricted podcast. I'm Dylan.
And I'm Chase.
And we are a little bit less than 9 days away from the release of Scream 5. And to celebrate, we have devoted an entire video to just Scream. We have a few ranking charts here. We're going to start off with ranking our favorite Scream killers. And at the very end, we're going to rank who we think's going to live, who we think's going to die, and who we think the killers are in Scream 5. So getting started off here, I'm going to start with mine, if you're okay with that. Getting started off here, under the Ultimate Mastermind section, I think you have to put Billy Loomis there. He was one of the main ones that came up with all of the plans and everything in the first Scream movie. And and then to me that immediately follows up with Stu Macher being put in the Fall Guy section, because I do not think that Stu Macher is anywhere close to being an ultimate mastermind, because the dude's just an idiot. If you remember going back to Scream 3, Roman Bridger talked about how he basically got Billy to kill Sidney's mom, and he told him to find someone to be his partner, but in case they got into trouble, that would take the fall for him, someone that he trusted. And so that's what Stu's role was. That's why I put Stu in the Fall Guy section. Moving on to Scream 2, I think that Mickey is an ultimate mastermind. And I think I would also put her in ultimate mastermind as well, because they were both on the same wavelength. Yeah. Because she was because I think she recruited him, and he had the idea. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so I think they both go in the Ultimate Mastermind section. Mickey, to me, mainly because his idea was that they would do all this. He would get caught, and he would go to, not go to prison, but he would go to court.
He wants to go to prison so he can go on court, and so he can have everyone more or less paying attention to him. Because he wanted to get caught so he can have all the main big judge people on his side, and more or less 4 movies to be.
Well, he wanted, because what his main reasoning is that Christian organizations would blame movies and TVs and movie, TV, and video games for violence, and he thinks that would get him off, and he worked with Mrs. Loomis on that. Because she recruited him. So I think that's why they're both up there, in my opinion. Going to Scream 3, that's Roman Bridger. I think I'm going to be honest with him, he's terrible. Because he didn't really do much. He came up with everything in Scream 3. There's a chance that he might have had an accomplice, that woman who was supposed to be playing Sidney in that biopic or whatever, the Woodsboro Murders movie. Yeah. But I just think he's a terrible killer, because he didn't really have that much of a plan. Sure, he brought on Billy and told him to get a fall guy or whatever, but other than that, he didn't really do much. Yeah. So I think he's just a terrible killer. Going on to Scream 4, I obviously think that Jill is the mastermind in that scenario, because she had everything planned out. She even had her own fall guy, and her fall guy was Charlie, because Charlie was blinded by love. He was in love with Jill, and he did all he could to follow her lead, and he thought it was going to end by them falling in love at the end and just, I guess, running away together. But she ended up killing him, and she told him that was her plan from the beginning, and he was just being stupid, and he was blinded by love. So that's how that goes. From moving on to the TV show, we're only covering the first 2 seasons, because that 3rd season isn't tied to the movies or the original first 2 seasons. It's its own separate thing, so I'm not going to include it, mainly because I just don't want to, because I think the first 2 seasons are way better. But starting off here, I'm gonna be honest here, okay? I think they're both terrible, because I don't think any of the killers in the TV show were good at all. Like, nothing they did to me was really all that convincing that they were really ultimate masterminds. Mm-hmm. Because, like, to me, Kieran seemed like he was being set up as the red herring, but he ended up actually being the killer. Because I literally told Chase at the beginning of the season, like, they are really pushing him to be the killer. I'm gonna hate it if he's the actual killer in the season. If you remember me telling you that, and he actually was, and I was like, I literally predicted that, like, at the beginning of the season. So they made him far too obvious, which to me it makes him terrible. That and he and Piper didn't really have any plan at all, I don't feel. And, like, the show didn't even explain that they had a plan, I don't think.
Yeah.
So, to me, that just makes them terrible. So, Chase, here, I'm going to move on to yours.
Okay, so ours is actually pretty much almost, I think, identical. Definitely, what you're saying with Billy, he definitely is the ultimate mastermind. Because this is kind of all of his thing. Definitely, he had kind of, if you notice, one point during the movie, he killed Sydney's mom since her dad, like, they were cheating. That he cheated, like, she made him cheat on his mom, and Stu had no idea, because you kind of see his face, like, he had no idea that's what, like, the main reason was. So he has the I guess a good moral to what he's doing. I guess killing a good thing, but he had definitely a good reasoning, and I feel like other killers in the movie, like, their reason kind of sucks. That's why I'll go ahead and get these out of the way. I agree 100% with what you were saying. I feel like the TV shows, their reasoning for what they're doing is something like out of a Lifetime movie. It's so basic. What she was, Brandon James, that was her dad. And
Yeah.
Kieran, I don't remember what his reasoning was.
I don't either.
I don't remember the second season too. I do remember him being the killer, but then him, dying in jail by the actual killer. This is like a special Halloween episode, which I remember that was, yeah. But yeah, Stu is definitely the fall guy. But nothing against Stu. I love Stu and everything. But yeah, he was definitely the one that, if anyone was going to be blamed, it was definitely going to be him. There was no, so he had no idea what was going on, and he is kind of the stupid one, because if you look at it, because Wes, when he made the movie, he kind of made certain details so you can figure out which killer is which. And he's the one that actually did a lot of the stuff. Billy he thought of everything, but I think Stu's the one that he was the one that he forced him out to do everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mickey is definitely the ultimate mastermind. Mickey is actually one of my favorites. He's actually my top. I think he is just his reasoning, and he's just, I don't know what it is about him. I just think he's just a badass, to be honest with you. I really have liked his character, and I agree with you with Debbie Salt, aka Miss Loomis. Again, mother. That's kind of, I guess, what you call it, Friday the 13th kind of situation.
Yeah.
So hers was definitely a good reasoning and everything. Yeah, I don't like Roman. He just fucking sucks. No matter how, even if he had his accomplice, they both would have been at the bottom. They both suck. And really, man, I think they both are they're terrible. They're just not just good enough. I think it's Jill just being just a relative. It's just, I don't know, and I think I said some of the she just, I don't know, she just sucks, principal. And Charlie he's just a little bitch. I just thought he's just a little bitch, and I don't know, Scream 4 is just one I get talked about later, but yeah, that's mine. So we're definitely way different, but I just would rather stick with Billy, Mickey, and Miss Loomis as top ones easily.
And that is the tier list of our Scream killers from best to worst. And next we're going to move on to a tier list of our favorite Scream movies ranked from best to worst. Yeah. All right, and to get started off here, I'm going to put Scream 1 in S tier, mainly because it, to me, defined the like late '90s, like teen slasher sort of movies. I know you had the I Know What You Did Last Summers and all that. I think that came out afterwards, didn't it? I Know What You Did Last Summer. Yeah. You had all those, but this is the one that absolutely defined it. Like these movies made by Wes Craven, who also did Nightmare on Elm Street. Like, it shows that he knows how to do horror movies, although I'm not a big fan of Freddy Krueger as a killer. You can't deny that he's a horror icon, and now so is Ghostface. Yeah. And this first movie was an absolute banger, and it was great. Going into my next one, Scream 2, I'm going to give Scream 2 an A. I thought it was great as well. I don't think it's definitely on the same level as the first movie, but it's definitely a great follow-up, and you get to see the characters as they grow up more. You get to see them in college, like right after high school, and you even get some main character deaths in that one, which I think is a good choice. Moving on, there's Scream 3. Now you're going to start noticing a pattern here. I'm going to put this one down in B. I didn't really have that much of an issue with Scream 3. I just felt like the movies declined in quality as they went along. Yeah. I still think they're all good movies. I still rank them 1, 2, 3. Obviously, A, S, A, and B. And then going to my last one, Scream 4. I'm gonna put that at C. D is not being utilized because I do not think there is a bad Scream movie. I think they're all good movies. And Scream 4, to me, the one thing that really killed it was the filter they had on that movie. They had like some weird, like really blown out light bloom filter that really made everyone's skin like look soft, and it just made stuff look bad to me. Mm-hmm. And if you have a bad viewing experience like that, it does sour it a little bit. I think if there was no filter on it, it would probably be at B category, because I didn't think the story was that great as compared to the other movies, but that's where mine is.
If you had to put the TV show, where would you put the TV show?
I would put the first 2 seasons of the TV. I would put
just the whole Scream show. If you had to not just as all 3 seasons as one, just as a whole thing, where would you put it on?
If that's the case, then it would probably be pretty low, because that 3rd season is a little bit of a killer for me. Because to me, those first 2 seasons are A tier, but that 3rd season's a D. I don't hate that 3rd season. It just doesn't stack up at all to the first 2 seasons. That's why I would say, if it came down to it, I would give like the Scream show as it was with the first 2 seasons with that cast, I'd put it in A. But if that 3rd season was its own like show, even though it's technically supposed to be the 3rd season, I'd put it at C or D, probably D. Yeah. Personally, but that's just me. Yeah. All right, we're going to move on to Chase's movie tier list.
And mine is definitely actually a little way different than yours a little bit. Maybe not. Definitely the same with this on Scream is, it more or less brought back horror, because, horror was definitely on the decline with, Halloween 6 was kind of at that point, and it was killing the franchise. I think Freddy's Dead was there. Just horror was definitely on the kill. But, this brought it back, and it brought it back in a fantastic way. Even to this day, with this movie coming out in 1996, this movie is still just perfection at its finest. It just doesn't feel like it's, you definitely feel like that 90s feel to it, but it's still just so great. I can watch this movie over and over again and never have a problem with it. As we said, the killers, Stu and Billy are just great. Some of those kills are just easily memorable. There's a lot of quotable lines, I feel like, in the movie, and one of my top final girls, Nev Campbell's Sydney Prescott. How do you not? I know we don't have a ranking of that, but would she be in yours?
Yeah,
top 1 easily.
She wouldn't be like my number 1,
but top 5.
Yeah, top 5, top
easily.
3.
Yeah, yeah, she's definitely great.
She'd be my number 2, right behind
Laurie Strode.
Yes.
Yeah.
Original Laurie Strode, not remake Laurie Strode.
Yep. Agree with you. Scream 2. S. When we watched it, what was it, last year? Because we watched all 4 of them. I some reason just fell in love with this movie, and this one is actually my favorite out of all four of them. I love this movie so much. I love the opening with the movie theater, like that whole scene. I love that. I love the I mean, I love Randy as a character, but his death was kind of one of that's it's a shocker. I love the whole theater scene at the end. And I said Randy is actually my favorite killer from the whole franchise. The
Your favorite character or killer?
killer.
Randy wasn't a killer. He was the nerd
Not
that
really,
died.
sorry, excuse me. Mickey, excuse me.
Yes.
Sorry. But I don't like I said, I don't know what this, but Scream 2 is always I mean, it was first, it wasn't I didn't think it was as good, but that just watched last year changed my mind and easily makes it an S for me. Scream 3.
That's a pretty steep drop.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Hold on. Never mind. Change it.
Okay.
Because I don't think Scream 3 is good by any means. But I really find it to be a fun movie. Definitely like toward the end with the mansion, that whole mansion scene is good. The Jane Silent Bob cameo,
Oh
you cannot forget about, is fantastic. But I just think just Roman being the killer kind of sucks because it's stupid. I really think who I really think the killer is that they never said it was the cop. The cop.
Oh yeah, the guy from
He was in the third Transformers.
yeah, I just can't remember what his name
He's
was.
Grey's Anatomy.
The guy who
Whatever.
Zach Cherry said was like a red herring.
Yeah.
The guy who was in Grey's Anatomy.
Yes.
Yeah, that guy. I know
Yeah.
what you're talking about.
I think he's the killer. To be honest with you,
You think he was?
I always have. It's just something about him. Just he seemed like he fits perfectly. But I know from Zach Cherry's video on the facts, the one dude who was the cop's partner, he was actually supposed to be the killer. Really, which was weird. But I don't know. Scream 3, it's not a masterpiece by any means, but it's just a fun watch. All of these are actually a fun watch in my opinion. You can easily find some fun in them, and there you go. I don't hate Scream 4. I think some of the writing in it's fantastic. Like the hospital scene. If you would like to be put in the hospital, I can put you in there. In the morgue. That one's great. I never said I was in your closet. I mean, that's good. Roger L. Jackson. If we had to put Roger L. Jackson in the killer tier list, he'd be at the top. Roger L. Jackson's fantastic.
He even told you happy birthday.
Yeah, he did.
Year.
But I think I think the killers is a downfall because I just don't think they're good. And that filter you said, it's so hard to watch. Definitely when you notice it's there. It just looks so like like if like a picture and you like and it gets wet, it gets all that runny. That's what I think it kind of looks like. It doesn't look good. But I mean, like I said, all these movies are just fun movies just to sit down and watch and have a good time with. I don't hate every single one by means. I could watch any of them right now and still enjoy it. But definitely that's what mine is right now. Scream 1 and 2 in the S. Scream 3 and B, and Scream 4 and C.
All right. That's our Scream movies ranked. And now we are going to go on to the last part of the video. And that has to do with Scream 5 coming out in about, I think, exactly 9 days. Yeah, we're moving on to our predictions of who's going to live, who's going to die, and who the killer is.
And this one isn't a separate video, like part. This will be me and Dylan will both have the same predictions. I guess that's what we want to say.
Yes, this one is going to be us. We are going to we agree on this because we feel like based on from what we've seen, because me and Chase, I think you seen every trailer for this?
I've seen,
because they don't give it. There's not really that much.
I've seen the trailers that came out, and I've seen the TV.
Did you see Metal Face? Did you see Metal Ghostface? That was cool with flamethrower.
I have seen it. I do not think it retains to the movie. I think it's gonna be like a stab thing. You know, the movies.
Oh, really?
Moments. That's my opinion. But I do love that. I would love to see it as something, but I think we're more or less we're on the same tact on who we think and everything is. But um, I guess we should get right into it. And
Yeah. For me, like, I don't know if you got this. A lot of people are saying this guy's a red herring. I don't think the trailers have been pointing to that.
no.
I just think the trailers have been pointing to this guy just getting brutally
the
fucking destroyed.
the first trailer didn't, because I mean, like, you see like him going to his, I guess someone turned on the car, which one Ghostface, and he goes to turn it off, and Ghostface is right behind him. I don't
Yeah.
see how he survives that.
Yeah, I think he's just straight up dead. Like, there's
He's
nothing.
fucked.
Yeah, he's gonna come in, like, act like a tough hard ass, but he's not
Yeah.
gonna be the killer. I don't even think he's really gonna be set up as a red herring. He's just gonna be just like an asshole character that just gets taken out, like, probably somewhere towards the beginning of the movie.
What I think it is I seen a picture that has, it looks like they're at a bar or something, and he maybe, um, like maybe start shit with them or something like that. So then they maybe try to make you think one of those people at the bar was the killer or something like that.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, there's absolutely no way this guy makes out. He didn't even get a picture, for God's sakes.
Yeah,
Who
so
knows? He might be the opening kill for all we know.
I was
don't
kind of
think
leaning that
I don't.
way.
I'm not. I don't think he is.
Yeah.
But because I know there's multiple pictures of him, different shots, but no, there's no way he's a red
Well, I
herring.
know some people have been saying that is it Tara? Have been saying that Tara might be the opening kill, because you see
That's
that in
what I
the
think
trailer
it is.
where it says, like, doors unlocked, doors locked. But
She's the one I think is.
well, what it is you see her later on throughout the trailers laying in a hospital bed. So so what I think
So
it
survives it.
like, we're not talking about I'm just gonna drop that there until we get to her.
Yeah.
We're gonna the next one is Liv. Now her, I don't think she's. Oh man, some people think she might be the Tatum character. I don't know about that. Um, I think she might. It might be one of those situations where
See, we might actually have to be different on this one.
I don't know about this one, man.
Who I think she.
You think she's gonna die? Yeah. No, you don't think so. You think she might be a red herring?
It's a red herring.
You think they might set her, because in the trailers they do show her doing this, like the Undertaker thing.
I really. I don't know.
I'll agree with you there. I'll say red herring.
I just think there's something just
Off about her a
Off
little bit.
about her. I mean, she, like you said, I remember that, and it's just she's also not in the footage a lot.
Yeah.
Um, I just noticed that. I feel like they kind of use the same footage. But correct me if I'm wrong. I still swear the director of this movie came out and said that what you've seen in the trailers may be a mislead. They said there is mislead.
I wouldn't be surprised.
So, but I don't know. I'm on the fence of saying she is one, but I'm just not sure. I just can't. So I definitely think she's a red herring, and easily will be the one I suspect.
Yeah. Chad Meeks Martin. I think he will die.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's gonna die mainly because we saw him in the trailers. He was getting stabbed and he was running. He was doing the Drew Barrymore, where he got stabbed and he was running away from him at night.
Yeah.
I think basically he's just gonna. I think that's where he's gonna die, because I don't think both of the Meeks Martin twins are gonna survive this movie. I think at least one of them has to die.
Yeah.
Because they are tied to Randy.
Yeah.
And Randy died. So I do think that at least one of them does have to die, and I think it's definitely going to be him personally. Yeah. And is there anything else you want to add to that?
And where I see him, as actually going onto her, actually back for a second, because there is a TV spot where these two are together, and I guess,
Well, because they're boyfriend and girlfriend.
Yeah, and like they're doing like a tracking. I guess he was trying to find where she is.
Yeah.
And she goes to her phone, and it's not there. Like, so then Ghostface comes in. So that was maybe another thing that makes the name. Anyways, but yeah, because there is a shot in a spot that I've seen where a Ghostface is running out it looks like a shed or something at him with a thing. There's no way. I think, like you said, they'll kill one, but leave the other one alive. So I guess you can move on to that one. But yeah, I think he will be killed in this, and I think it will be kind of similar to Randy's death, where he's going to get stabbed thousands of times.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, I really do.
That would make sense. If they do, I really do kind of want it to be a little gory. Because
I think this
going
movie's
back to
gonna go
Scream
full
4, that
gore.
is one of the things I did love about that movie is they really toned up the gore, and I love that.
Yeah.
So I really hope they do have a little bit of gore in
From
this
what
movie.
I've seen, I thought someone that was getting on fire. I swear to God, in the trailer.
Well, that's
In
with
that
the
first-
metal mask. Remember with the flamethrower?
I know, but I swear
Yeah.
there was another one where it's like in a kitchen or something.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
So, I don't know.
Going to Dewey, one of the 3 legacy characters. Now, me and Chase both believe that at least one legacy character has to die in this movie because it's been 5 movies.
You can't
have all 3 of them.
all three of
Yeah.
us,
And we do think it's going to be Dewey.
It's
Mainly
sadly.
because in almost every Scream movie other than Scream 4, he's come close to dying.
I mean, I'd love for Dewey to survive. I mean, he's one of my favorites, but
Yeah.
like you said, he's almost got killed in every single one of them, except for 4. So I think this is the time he will finally meet his match.
Yeah, in Scream 1, he got stabbed in the back and fell on the ground, and everyone thought he was dead there. And
Scream
then-
2, he should have been dead.
Scream 2, you saw him on the other side of the glass, like spitting up blood and everything, got stabbed, and and then at the end, you just see him being carted off on a stretcher.
And that third one, that stupid knife hitting the head, falling down the
Yeah,
stairs.
they threw the knife at him, and then just the butt of the like the grip of the knife hit him in the head, like that's something you'd see in a scary movie.
That's stupid.
But I still think it's kind of, I still think it's
fun.
funny.
It's fun.
But yeah, he's died. He's like almost come close to dying
yeah.
multiple times, and I
So
think it
Scream
does have
4
to
was
happen.
the
In
one.
this
I don't think he got any damage to him.
one. No.
I think this one he sadly meets his demise, and I feel like it will be an emotional one too. I might be wrong, but I definitely see it as
There's a
emotional.
spot in the trailer, if you remember, where you see it's morning time and there are ambulances and you see Gail just screaming while Sydney's trying to hold her back. I think that's probably what that is. They're probably dragging out Dewey's body in a body bag or something,
Yeah.
and she's really upset about it. So I think that's what that is. So I think Dewey is the one that's going to die. Who is this one coming up? I think that's Tara.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tara right here. She's the one you see in the trailers where she answers the phone, like the famous opening phone calls or whatever.
Yep.
This is probably going to be the opening thing. I don't think she's going to die in that opening scene. And I think with that one, I think she's probably going to be a survivor.
Yeah.
Personally.
Well, if she's gonna be in the hospital, I mean,
Yeah, she's going to be in the hospital. I think she's going to probably stay in the hospital for the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
So,
unless
because there's a theory going on that the killer doesn't kill her because they're just trying to send a message to Sydney. Sure, killing her would also send a message, but having her wounded also sends a message.
Yeah. Well, there's one thing that makes me question it, is because there is one shot. It looks like it's in a hospital, but I thought maybe it was a school. Because you remember the one shot? I believe it's. Is it
the scene where
Sam
Dewey
and Dewey in like an elevator?
where Dewey's loading his gun?
Yeah.
And then you see the
And then
Ghostface walking
is,
towards
like,
the camera.
coming, like,
Yeah. That takes place at that hospital, yeah, where she's at. So I'm wondering if
maybe she gets killed there.
it's possible. I just don't think so.
There's no way.
I'm wondering if he was about to go in to kill her, and then Dewey was like, "Hey," to get its attention.
I tell you, she's not a killer.
No.
I think we're easily convinced. There's no fucking way.
Do you want to keep her in Survivor, or do you want to move her over to Killer? I'm to
Survivor. I think Survivor.
because I think what that scene is Ghostface is about to go into Killer, finish off the job, but Dewey comes in, basically swoops in and saves
Yeah.
her.
I think she'll be a survivor. I know I thought on Zach Cherry's video that he's thinking 3 killers, but I still think it's gonna be 2. 3 killers not happening. Yeah, I definitely agree. She'll be a survivor, and more or less it'll all be. I think Dewey will sacrifice himself, to make sure she doesn't die.
Okay, next one we have Richie, played by Jack Quaid, who I absolutely love as an actor. He's great in The Boys. I think he is being set up as a red herring.
Yeah.
Because they are really pushing him in the trailers and the marketing material to really be the killer. Because they're making him seem like really shifty and menacing. Like, they're just making him act weird. I just think he's really going to be a red herring.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to actually be the killer. And I just also the red herring section doesn't necessarily mean they're either going to survive or they're going to die.
They're just someone we're just on the fence.
With Liv, she's a red herring. Do we think she's going to die? She's being set up as a red herring, but do you think she's going to die? I think yes. Yeah, we think she's the red herring, but we also think she's going to die.
No matter what, if she is the killer or not, she will die by the end of the film.
And then Richie, I think he's being set up as a red herring, but he will.
Because he's one of the boyfriends, right? Of
Yes.
Amber, is it? No, it's Sam.
He's the boyfriend of the main
Sam,
girl. Yes.
Sam. I think because more or less the boyfriend always gets killed. Because Billy was the first one. Second one,
Well, there's
he died.
Yeah.
Third one, she didn't have one. And then fourth one, Jill's died. So I think.
Yeah, that's another thing why they're setting him up to be a red herring. He's the boifriend of the main protagonist girl.
You kind of have to. But I think he will survive and not be the killer.
Because since a lot of people are considering this like a reboot, some people are saying that maybe they're trying to throw people off by making them think that he's another Billy, because he's the boyfriend of the main protagonist.
Sorry,
but
we've already seen it once.
Yeah, they're not going to do that. They're making us think that, and then he's not going to end up being that.
They've made you in the second movie they made you think whatever the hell the dude's name was, that was the killer, but he wasn't.
Yeah.
So I think he will survive the film and not be a killer. 100%.
You think so?
Yeah. If I had to put odds on it now, yeah, no way. We're not doing the boyfriend shit again.
And then Wes Hicks, Dylan Minnette. You think he's a killer, right?
Yes.
Okay, we'll put him up here.
Do you have a different thing, or do you want to explain?
I don't, but I'm still not 100% convinced yet. We'll leave him up there though, just for right now.
I think he is, because he's kind of like the Randy character, kind of like the nerd kind of thing. So, and you know what? They have never had one like that. Randy easily could have been the killer. Heck, the dude from the show, though. What was his?
Kieran?
No, the nerd dude.
Oh, I forgot what his name is.
But he easily could have been the killer.
Oh yeah.
I just feel like it's time for one too. And they said that there's someone who me and you both, it has to be the killer. We'll get that at the end.
Were you saying it's time for one of the nerd characters to be the killer?
Yeah.
He was in Scream 4. Remember that character played by Rory Culkin? He was one of the like movie nerds.
Yeah. But
then also Mickey was one of the nerds, because he was in the same class as Randy. Yeah.
But I don't know, and I also feel like they haven't really pushed him in the marketing, in like the trailers, and also, so he's kind of that.
I think in the trailers he only has like one or two shots.
You don't really see him too much. That doesn't mean anything, but I don't know. I think he is. I I really do.
And moving on to the next character, to me, she's the one that I don't think we know really anything about, other than I think she's the girlfriend of I think she's Tate's, or what's her name? Tara. I think that's Tara's girlfriend. I think someone said that they're dating in this movie, which finally I don't care. To me, that really says a lot, because they haven't really shown her or pushed her at all in the marketing either, if you've noticed.
True.
I really think that might put her up there, because we don't know anything about her. They haven't really showed us anything about. They've shown us literally every other character, like a decent amount of every other character besides her.
Yeah.
So I really think that really puts her on the radar too.
That's very true. You got a good point on that one.
Do you think
it doesn't mean anything just because they didn't put them in the marketing? It kind of. You're going to put Nev. You're going to put the main people, but. I guess let's get this out first before we go any further. None of the main, because we agree with Zach Cherry, none of the three main people will be the killer.
Yeah, no.
That is just stupid. I mean, I'll be surprised. I
And
would agree. I would be 100% surprised.
and like Zach Cherry said, your movie
It
will
sucks.
automatically suck.
But yeah, where were we at?
You know what? Since we don't know for sure, we can put her down in wild card. Since like you said, we don't know anything about her. She's not in any marketing, but we don't know for sure personally that she is. So we can put her in wild card because we don't know if we don't know what she is. We just know that her number is the one that was texting Tara at the beginning saying this isn't Amber.
Yeah.
You know, so we don't know for sure. Just wild card.
We just know that.
Moving on to the next one here. We have Mindy Meeks Martin, and me and Chase both agree that she's just going to straight up survive because I think what's going to happen is she's the one that's probably going to discover her brother's body.
Yeah.
And she's gonna be crying over it and everything.
Yeah.
So I think only one of them is going to survive, and it's going to be her.
And I fully believe if we would get further sequels, she's gonna become a main focus.
I do wonder though if one of them might be the killer, and they're coming back because they blame Sydney for her brother for their cousin's death. Did I throw a wrench in that?
That's a good point.
Because I know wasn't that a
very
plot point in one of the other movies? Because I thought it was Miss Loomis because Sydney killed her son.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if they might do that again, but I don't know for sure.
That's a good point. That is a really, really good point to think about. I'm not 100% sold on it yet, but I actually, whenever we see this movie, that will definitely be going through my mind. And I think that is a very, very high possibility. And who, if you had to choose one of them, which one do you think would do it?
I think it'd be the girl.
I think it's Mindy.
Yeah.
Mindy for sure.
Because I think she wouldn't hesitate. I feel like, I don't know how their relationship is in this movie, but if she is the killer, I don't think she would really hesitate to kill her brother.
No, definitely if they don't get along and everything. But who?
But I'm content keeping her in Survivor for right now. Yeah,
absolutely.
And going down to Jody Meeks or Judy Hicks. Excuse me. What the fuck was I saying? Judy Hicks. I'm thinking. What are you thinking with this? You think she's R.I.P.?
Yep.
You think her son's gonna kill her?
I think she's more or less just because there was something I picked up on from the trailer because you know how she's she's looking through the house, so you guys got a knife and everything. There is, because through that window you can see a flag. There's a quick shot of the ghost face with the going up with the knife, and the flag is right above him.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that is the moment where Judy Hicks meets her demise.
Ooh.
By her son.
Okay.
Why would he kill her? I don't know, but we also know their relationship as a thing. But I don't know if your thoughts are different or what you thinking on that.
I'll leave it there. I'm cool with that. Going on to the next character, I believe it's Samantha, the main Sam, the main character. She's obviously, I think, a survivor. But yeah, Samantha. Like we were saying, Samantha. She is the female protagonist. She's the main protagonist.
She's Sydney.
Yeah, she's the Sydney of this, since everyone's considering it a reboot. She's the Sydney of this, so she's gonna survive. She's gonna be the one that the story focuses around, because like a lot of people are saying, they think Sydney in this movie is just gonna be the like overseer kind of character, like the mentor to the young group of survivors. Yeah. So Sydney's not the main focus of this movie. It's gonna be these teenagers. So
I mean, I would be actually shocked if they did kill her off. Maybe at the end, but no, I think she will definitely be a survivor.
Yeah.
Go on to do a sequel, then meet her demise, Mindy will take over the franchise.
And as we've said before, neither of the legacy characters left are the killer, and I think both of them are going to survive. I think Sydney is going to survive and Gail is going to survive. And the main reason we feel this is because Sydney is the Laurie Strode of our generation. And the only time Laurie Strode ever died in her movie was in a terrible movie that no one likes. Yeah, so these legacy characters stay on for a while, and they usually last at least until the later sequels, especially like this one, since we are predicting that Dewey's going to die. We think those two are going to survive. Just mainly because Sydney is too much of a badass to die, in my opinion. There with Sydney in that she's a badass too. Because if you remember in the first movie, like, she just straight up confronted the killers and said, and just, like, I think they're both just badasses that can't die. So.
I think they're both gonna take damage though.
Oh yeah, they're both gonna take damage.
I think they're definitely gonna take damage, and I really wouldn't be surprised of a curveball where they think maybe like do kind of what they did in the first one, where they think they killed off Gale, but she was the one that came right back at the end to more or less save it. But yeah, I believe they won't die. But if they would do a sequel and Nev would come back for it,
yeah,
I think then one of them two will die.
Yeah.
So forth, so forth.
All right. Now, don't think our list is over yet, because
there
are 2 killers in this movie.
We got one more.
We do think that Dylan Minette's character, Wes Hicks, is one of the ghost faces. But we also believe that the second ghost face is not any of the other characters in this movie.
I got 2 on, actually.
We think... you have 2 more ghost faces? You think
there's
going to be 3?
No. For one of these other people, what if someone is related to either Billy or Stu? They just don't have the same last name. Because you don't know if they have brothers or sisters.
Could be.
That was just one thing that I was kind of wondering, as they said it's like related, or maybe one of these people is actually related to them, but maybe trying to finish their thing. But but let's do it.
Yeah, like we were saying, we think a second ghost face, or I guess the primary ghost face in this movie, is going to be a returning Stu Macher.
Absolutely.
Because we feel, why would they bring back Stu's house if Stu wasn't going to be in the movie? Yeah. There wouldn't be a point. They could just do what Scream 4 did. Just show, like, all the random houses of all the other teenagers, in that movie. What's so important about Stu's house? Yeah. What significance does that have? Could it be like what you said, where one of these kids, like, their family now lives in that house, and they have to do with the current killer, so that brought them to the house? But then again, that wouldn't bring any significance to the fact that it's really Stu's house. Yeah. So I feel like Stu has to be in this movie, and to me what he would be is, he would be one of the killers. He would just be a mentor to Wes Hicks's character, and they would be working together in this. Yeah. So what do you think?
I 100% agree with you. I think they are going to try to do what they were going to do with Scream 3.
Yeah, and an old draft of the script.
Where Stu would be in prison, and he would have these people more or less as like
the cult of Ghostface, yeah.
And like you said, they go into his house, and come on, he had a TV go on his face. He could survive that. I mean, and I know there's like a concept picture. I don't know if you could find that real quick for people. Like,
I can put it on the screen in editing.
Yeah, but that concept picture, I don't know, man. It just seems it's so possible and everything. But I really just think what you said, he would be like this is what I want you to do, this, take these people out in this order, and just do it this way. Because like from what we've seen, where like he says, "Hello, Sydney, it's an honor." That is, I think, would be Wes.
Well, some people think that's editing. They think the "Hello, Sydney" and the "It's an honor" are 2 separate like things. Okay. So some people are wondering if maybe the "Hello, Sydney" might be from Stu, and then the "It's an honor" might be from Wes. Yeah. So
I really do think Stu is going to come back. I mean, I'm not gonna get my high hopes on it. If he doesn't come back, he don't come back. But I know Wes is, and I think Stu is that second killer. I mean, if they would do an eyeball and do 3 killers, those people would you pick?
Like who else would we think would be the killer if Stu's not in there as like the second and potentially third?
I think it would have to be Liv.
Well, we're thinking Liv and Mindy Meeks Martin. Yeah. Because me and Chase both think obviously that only one of the twins can survive, And we think, if anyone, it would be Mindy. But we also think that there's a chance, since they're related to
Randy.
Randy,
They've gotta try to.
they'd have a vendetta against
It's
Sydney
your
and
fault.
blame her, and like you said, think it's her fault that Randy died. So they want to come back for like vengeance or something like that with or against Sydney. So
But this makes me want to know about like this. Why Sam Carpenter's the main lead? What does she have? What's her backstory? What is making the killer go after her?
yeah,
So, like I said, is someone related to either somebody else? I mean, from our past, because I really feel like this movie is going to be kind of like I saw someone say our Spider-Man No Way Home is going to be like kind of for the fans, a lot of fan service. And I actually fully believe someone from the original four is going to come back. Like it's like maybe like not one of the main characters. What I mean, like someone who survived. Like Hayden Panettiere's character, I really think she survived in 4.
mm-hmm.
I think she could come back. As a surprise. I think they get
Because didn't she get stabbed in the stomach?
Yeah.
You think she just survived that?
Because they never even Wes Craven said that because I was just like last time. He said that he kind of wrote it that way to make you think was she able to survive that? I mean, I might be wrong in just saying
Was
that.
it Kirby?
Kirby, yeah. I think there's one surprise in this movie. And either it's going to be Stu as the killer or somebody returning. But, I mean, I guess only tell in 9 days. That's it. So, I mean,
Yeah.
We'll see. But that's where we are right now. We'll see how it turns out. I definitely want to know what everybody else is thinking. I would love to know everyone's thoughts going into this movie because this is going to be a big deal. It's great to see Scream back. So,
yeah. It's been it feels like they've been averaging a new Scream movie every 10 years. Because between Scream 3 and 4, it was, I think, 2001 to 2011. And then now it's 2011 to 2022.
yeah.
So when you look at it, we've had 2 Scream movies in the last 20 years, which is terrible when you think about it. With each Scream movie that comes out, since they do have such big gaps between them, you just have to cherish each one when it comes out and just accept the experience when you get it. Because you never know if another one's going to come or even when it's going to come.
Who knows? Because if they do keep on that same track, who knows? We could have one of them, Nev or Courtney. We could be having them in a wheelchair,
Yeah,
or a thing. So yeah, definitely just be happy with getting these Scream movies because I feel like, I mean, it's been a long time, and just be happy because I mean, but just don't also go if you want more Scream movies and the possibility of not waiting 10, 15 years. Go out, support the film. We may actually get a sequel and go for it. But so yeah, but we actually do have our tickets for Scream next Thursday at 7:00. So be on the lookout for out of theater thoughts. No spoilers, of course, because I don't want to be spoiled because I know the world premiere is the 11th.
yeah.
So we have 2 days to avoid stuff. But yeah, definitely please let us know what your favorites Scream movies are and everything down in the comments because I'd just love to know what everybody's thinking because I know everybody's different about these movies.
So I think that's going to about do it for this dedicated Scream episode of the Media Unrestricted podcast. Thank you all so much for watching. We've been gaining subscribers, and we really appreciate every single one of you.
Yeah,
and we also appreciate the comments we've been getting. Because we've been getting some comments from some awesome people watching. We
really appreciate
we see some that a lot of you are putting that you really like what we're doing, and we really appreciate that. So
thank you for joining us on the journey, and glad to have you. And
yeah,
please stay with us.